a company founded by farmers. Our biggest market is Japan, and our most growing market is Middle East. Per day, we can cup 1,000 cups. We were the first company to ferment coffees in Brazil. We were to can achieve -1, -2, but 1 day, 2 days in the year.
We will taste some Brazilian coffee, exotic Brazilian coffee. It's not just your normal Brazil coffee. Mostly you will just taste like chocolate, nutty, caramel in the coffee shops. But this one will have fruity, floral, aromatic, crazy project from CARMO, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna hand it over to Brian to have some short intro about CARMO.
So the company is 18 years. So when I arrived, the company was very, very small and we were growing. Well, CARMO is a company founded by farmers. So I think this is the first big difference from CARMO to other companies. Okay, so founders of CARMO, they are farmers, and they are the 4th generation of farmers. So just so you know, for example, in their first year of CARMO, they were traveling as a farmer, trying to sell, and they sold 80 bags, 80 bags in 1 year. So right now, we grew a lot. And sometimes in 1 day, I can sell 1,000 bags. And they took 1 year in the first year to sell 80 bags. So we really grew. But our core business, as Rainer was saying, is to innovate. We like to innovate, to try to do different things. And that is why, for example, this is our warehouse. So this is a coffee warehouse. In front of a Brazilian very famous highway. So the location is also very good for us. Our warehouse is located 4 hours from the port. For Brazil, this is nothing, 4 hours. Other farmers, they take 20 hours to arrive at the port. In our case, 4 or 5 hours. So again, we are very glad to be here. It's the first time we are here in Qatar. We've been to the World of Coffee Dubai sometimes, to a lot of countries, but to Qatar, that's the first time. And we came to Vulcan because we have been working for some years now together. So they do also a beautiful job with our coffees. I was taking a lot of pictures and sending to the farm because as farmers, it's very nice to see what you're doing with our coffee. So the package, the roasting, guys. So we're very glad and thankful for this. Well, right now, we are exporting around 1,200 containers per year. So we started with 80 bags in 1 year and now 1,200 containers. Our biggest market is Japan, and our most growing market is Middle East. So that's why we're coming more and more here. And something very interesting for you, talking about the tariffs that the American government input to Brazil. CARMO, thanks God, only exported to US 6% of our volume. So we are exporting more to Middle East than to US. So Brazilian companies, we are diversifying to other markets. Okay, so that's why we're coming more and more. So these are the founders of CARMO. So Mr. Luis Paulo and Mr. Jacques. So they are cousins, and as I told you, they are the 4th generation of farmers. So since we are kids in Brazil, it's all about going to the farm, seeing the trees, that's what we do. The company is based in CARMO de Minas City, that it's in the south of Minas. That's why the name of the company is CARMO. CARMO is coming from the city, CARMO de Minas. Okay. Right now, this number is a little bit, it's not updated. We have around 70 employees, and this is just the exporter, okay? In the farms, we have much more than 1,000 employees. We have our own farms, and we also buy coffees from other farms. With Rainier specifically, we are dealing with our farm. That's called IP farm. That's the one you probably have access to. So half of our team, they are women, and we have 4 offices in Brazil. And why is that? Because we need to go closer to the farmers, because we buy coffees from them, and they are working hard every day. Sometimes they are shy. So the 4 offices that we have are very well strategically located, close to the farm, 10 minutes to the farm. And for example, the last 2 or 3 years, the coffee prices, they are going up more and more because of American market, the New York market. And it's even dangerous for the farmers to keep the coffee in their farms, to stock in their farms, because of stealing. You know, the guys, they're just checking the coffee price, they steal some farms. They go there and get all the coffee. So we have these 4 offices because we also have the farmers bringing their coffees ASAP to our place, because we have insurance, we have security, and it's better for them, because if they keep the coffees in the farm, this can be a problem, mainly because of the price. It's very high. Okay. This is the main office. Okay. This is 10 minutes to the farm. So the owner of the company is here. I work here. All the team, like the main team, is located here. This is something very special. The name of this city is Petralva. CARMO Coffees is the only exporter in Brazil that buys coffee also in cherry. We buy the fruit. Because a normal trader only buy green bean. We go buy green bean, sell green bean. Just a trading, not CARMO. In this place, we buy the cherry, the fruit. So the only one in Brazil. And why we are the only one? Because this is very risky. Because when I buy the fruit, when I buy the cherry, I don't know if the coffee is going to be good or not. Because I still have to dry, to roast, and to try. So nobody wants to do that in Brazil. We do. Because for us, it's a nice way of making it consistency. I want to have the same coffee every year. So to have consistency, it's better that I make the processing. So I buy the fruits and I process the coffee. So we are supplying some micro roasters, some small companies. We do not care about volume. We just want to get our coffee abroad. But at the same time, we are also supplying some huge companies like Nespresso, Starbucks. So we have different ranges of coffee. This is one of the places where we supply our coffees, or where we process our coffees. Sorry. We can ferment some of the coffees, as Rainy said. We have some different processings because we need to respect the market. Okay, I know what coffee that I like, but I'm a salesperson. So I need to prepare the coffees that you like, not that I like. So some guys, they want some fermentation, they want some crazy process. Other guys, they prefer the normal Brazilian chocolate, caramel, good with milk and everything. So we have different ranges. And this is one of the places that we process coffee. And here specifically, this region is famous for having a lot of banana plantation. So the soil is different. The soil is totally complex, a lot of fruits, so we have a lot of shaded areas here too. This is another office that we have. And then we have the warehouse. So this is a brand new warehouse where we started to operate in 2020. So this was a big challenge for us because in 2020 we had pandemic and it was not very cheap to build a big warehouse. So we were worried because it was during pandemic. We can store in the warehouse, and this is static. Statically, I can put in the warehouse 170,000 bags. And this is statically, but every day we keep moving, sending coffee and receiving coffee. So we move much more than this. And we can prepare 40,000 bags per month. And when I say mill, it's taking the defects of the coffee. Because when we receive the coffees from the farmers, some beans, they are broken. I mean, a lot of beans. Broken, black beans, they bring some bitterness to the flavor. So in my warehouse, I take all these defects. All the black beans, the broken beans, so you receive a good and beautiful bean. Okay? And this is working only one shift. So if I want to double the capacity, I just work one more shift and that's it. We can load around 20 containers per day. I don't do this 20 containers per day, but I can do it. Some days yes, some days no, but the capacity is good. And something very interesting about the warehouse is that this is the warehouse. We have received some international awards because it's a beautiful, nice place. So, for example, this award, it's a German award for architecture, and The thing is, first problem in Brazil, most of the exporters, they hire someone to take the defects for them. It doesn't work very well. You know, you hire someone to put in the machine and all, and the Brazilian coffee production is huge. So if you have a problem, like I don't like this preparation, I needed to have a better preparation, they tell you, I don't care. You can find someone else, this is what I do. They don't care about you because they have the volume. So we said, maybe we should build our own warehouse so I can have control. I call the warehouse and they do whatever I want. If Rainer calls me and say, Brian, I want a special preparation, I just call the guys and say, for this lot, special preparation. So I have control. Okay? Of course, it was an expensive building. Beautiful one because we hired the most famous architect in Brazil. So this guy is a very famous guy in Brazil and we decided to hire him because we said, okay, we're going to build our warehouse. Let's build the best in the world. We want to have the best warehouse in the world. And as I was saying, this award, for example, now we have 3 more. So I need to put 3 more awards. But this one specifically, in the final of the award, we were competing. There were 3 companies in the final. A coffee company, CARMO, a French perfume company, the factory of perfume is also beautiful, is always beautiful, and a watch company from Switzerland. And the coffee company was the first place in design. So we feel very glad, you know, that's what we wanted. We wanted to bring a kind of a coffee people come to Brazil. Sometimes they are visiting my competition. And then they call me. I'm visiting your competition, but I want to go to the warehouse. I say, you can come, that's okay. Just tell the guy that you are the one that wants to come. So it's a very nice place. We're very, very glad. And you should come. When you come to Brazil, you can talk to Rainer, you can talk to me. It will be a glad to show you around. The inside is even more beautiful. Because this glass beam is huge. You cannot see by the picture, but it's 3 times the tall of this place. It's huge. It's beautiful. Inside the warehouse, we have a specific machine just for microlots, which is very nice. Another problem in Brazil. The guys are preparing a huge amount of coffee, 10,000 bags, 15,000 bags. And then you have 5 bags of microlots. They don't want to stop the big process to prepare only 5 bags. They say, no, I'm preparing 10,000 bags here. Your microlot, I'm not preparing. No, but the microlots are good. So we have two machines. A big machine and a small machine. Just microlot. The only one in Brazil that is stainless steel, because coffee is food. Coffee is food. So the machine is stainless steel. It's beautiful, and we can prepare here geishas, Sudan Romei, SR28, all these microlots here, while the big machine is preparing the good volume, the big volume. So we don't stop, okay? We have some sustainability projects in CARMO because we noted that many clients, let's say for example the European clients, they're really pushing for sustainability, the UDR, deforestation. So the guys are pushing the farmer. I need it to be sustainable, But as an exporter, what can I do? What can CARMO Coffees do as an exporter? And then, this is my favorite project. CARMO Coffees is a carbon neutral company. So this is, it gives a lot of work. It takes a lot of work because, for example, I went to Dubai for World of Coffee, now I'm here. I have a team in the company. They calculate all the carbon, not all, but most of the carbon that I waste during my trip, for example. Even the airplane, they have the tickets from Dubai to Qatar. They will check carbon based on the plane. I mean, the cars, when I get a car, I mean, they calculate everything. And in the end, I pay in cash for a company in Amazon for all the carbon that I use. So we are carbon neutral. All we waste, we repay in cash for a certified company in Amazon. The goal is to be carbon negative. Not just to repay for what I use, but to use less. That's the goal. But this is very nice. Very nice. We have a recycling project. So we are paying some recycling cooperative to recycle more in Brazil. So we are paying more and more. The more they recycle, the more we pay. We have a composting project because during the harvest, Sometimes that's crazy. During the harvest, per day we can cup 1,000 cups. 1,000 per day. So we generate a lot of powder, a lot of, and so we make the compost and take it back to the farm. So in the end, the cycle is complete. And we have almost 700 solar panels. This is amazing. It's a green energy, but the biggest cost in the operation is the preparation, is the machine. And in the end of the month, we are not paying for electricity. In the 4 offices, I pay 0. Actually, I sell energy to the government. Yeah, that's amazing. So these 700 solar panels, they are very good for us, very strategically. And we have some certifications. We are Rainforest certified. We have Nespresso AAA, Café President, Starbucks. And this is something I think interesting for you to understand. When I say I'm a Nespresso AAA certified guy, this is very important for the farmers. Because this kind of certification really helps the farmers to create procedures. Sometimes they don't have procedures. But then the auditor comes from Switzerland to the farm and tells them, this is the procedures. So the farmers, they like it because they learn. They know about farming, but procedures are important to grow and everything. So this is also very important. We have some organic coffees too. Very small because Brazilian market, we do not have a lot of organic coffees. Very expensive to be organic certified. But we are also Rainforest certified. And finally, also one of the best projects, we support around almost 300 kids now from the city. So 300 kids, we have a social service worker. We visit all the houses, and kids that do not have enough money, we teach them soccer, swimming, ballet, music, English classes, now chess. So this is very nice because the Brazilian situation in some cities, in a farming city, the kids, they do not have many opportunities. And this is a good opportunity for them because they enter the project with 7 years and they leave with 17 years. So they stay 10 years. Every day just practicing sports, learning English. So it's very nice. And your guys are part of it because when you buy coffees from CARMO, indirectly you are helping them. So our goal is that in some time, some of these kids who are learning English, they can even replace me. I'm here, why not in 5, 6 years, these kids will be here in my place. So this project is also very nice. Again, coffee is coming from the soil, it's coming from the land. So we believe that we can we can bring back to the land somehow to the people. So you can see the ballet, the English class, the song. And the last part of the presentation, we have a program called Direct Trade. Direct Trade is the micro-lot program. So the micro-lots that usually I bring, they are still owned by the farmers. So when I come here to Qatar, to Doha, I'm presenting their coffees to you, but it's still theirs. So it's direct trade. If Rainer says, Brian, I love this coffee, I want to buy, I will call the farmer. I'm in Qatar, this client loves your coffee. How much do you want for it? Because I'm not the one to put price in their product. They had all the trouble, they were processing, so it's not fair that I put the price. I can help them if they have some doubt. But I call them, even sometimes the client can talk directly, I just translate. So the micro lots, we like to negotiate this way, direct trade. And this is one of our farms. We have our own farms, as I told you, but we also have partnerships with other farms. This is good because I don't have supplying problems. Some guys, they can tell you, oh, I don't have the coffee. Or the guy is not selling to me. In my case, I have my farms. We have our farms. So I will always have the coffee and I will buy more. Santuário Sul, that is one of our farms. So, in Santuário Sul, we planted exotic varietals of coffee, like these ones we're seeing, 12 years ago. 12 years ago. And as I told you in the beginning of the presentation, our core business is to innovate. We like to innovate, to bring new. So when we planted a geisha in Brazil 12 years ago, everybody in Brazil was saying that we were crazy. Why plant geisha in Brazil? We don't need geisha, we have our own coffees. You are crazy. Now everybody in Brazil wants to plant geisha. When we were the first company to ferment coffees in Brazil. We went to Costa Rica, we went to Colombia, we took some farmers with us, and when we returned to Brazil, we started to ferment. Everybody in the market, you guys are crazy. We can't ferment coffees in Brazil. Why do this? This is nonsense. Now everybody is fermenting coffee in Brazil. And the same with the warehouse even. You are crazy. Why invest a lot of money in a warehouse? A coffee warehouse is simple. Now everybody's trying to do something different in the warehouse. This is good. If they are copying, it means that you are doing a good job. So we like to be avant-garde and everybody. So 12 years ago, we planted these lots. We brought seeds from all over the world. That's why you can see a Brazilian yogurt chef. And what we did, we bought a piece of land to be Santuário Sul, and we made a lot of tests. Because, for example, we have a Brazilian geisha. You can never compare a Brazilian geisha with a Panama geisha because the country is different. The soil is different. In Panama, the amount of rain is 3 times more than in Brazil. So if you have 3 times more rain, the coffee will be different, right? So everything is different. But the good point is that we started 12 years ago. And the coffee is alive. The plantation is alive. The tree is alive. So every year it adapts more. Every year it adapts more and more. So people are starting now. Our geisha tree, 12 years old. So it's already adapted a lot. So what we did 12 years ago, we planted, for example, a Colombia seed geisha, Panama, a lot of geishas. So every year we were checking the leaves, the health of the tree. So we were adapting. So the Colombia geisha in our soil, normal coffee. You say a Colombia geisha, we try, normal. So the Panama seed was the best. So the Panama seed for us, the geisha, good. So we were selecting every year the soil, analyzing everything. And then when we got the Panama geisha or the Irga chef, we escalated. We planted a lot. Yeah, Brazilian style. We right now, for example, we have 100 hectares of geisha. 100 hectares of geisha is more than some countries that we have in our farm. So we are probably going to have in the next years 3,000 bags of geisha. More than some countries, but at the same time, we want to make it more democratic. Because we know that, like Panama, some countries, the prices are very high. So our goal is maybe not to have a Panama geisha, of course, but to have a very good geisha at a reasonable price. That's our goal, to make it more affordable. And I was talking to my friend in the beginning here that we have genetic in a coffee, so the seeds, genetic. We have the terroir, and he said, also processing, and that's true. So we have these 3 factors. In our opinion, the genetic is very important. Okay, so around 50-60% is genetic. So that's why a geisha, the genetic of a Panama geisha is there in our geisha. The Irga chef genetic is there. And then you have big importance too to the terroir. The water, the rain, the soil. That's why adaptation is good. So 12 years ago, it was not tasting good, like 10 years ago, but now it's more. Every year we see the profile improving more and more. And we have a small part for processing. So in Brazil right now, we are not doing, most of the people, we are not a big fan of infused coffee. We don't like. I mean, I don't like, my boss don't like, and in CARMO we don't do. We do some fermentation. And some of these coffees, you can see they are 24 hours fermented, 48 hours fermented. Sometimes when we want to do something like a punch, we ferment a little bit more because there is market. Okay? Just because if someone tells me, Brian, next year I want to have a crazily fermented coffee, we will do. And to be honest, even if someone tells we want to have infused coffee, then probably we will start to do some. Because we respect the market. It's not, as I told you, my opinion, because I'm selling. Exactly. Brazil in the past, only natural. Now we have a pulp and natural, washed coffee over there. So it's all about the nature. We can do it. Okay? And just a detail. So these coffees we brought also to World of Coffee. And initially we had planned to brew in World of Coffee. So the quality you are seeing here has even much more potential if I roast it specifically for this kind of coffee. So the potential, you can see, it can be even much more improved. Because when we bring to the World of Coffee, we bring just for brewing and drinking. So we use a different roasting. So you can see, even using a different roasting, you can see the potential. And when we started Santuario project, our goal is that, what you said, is that someone tries this and say, this is not Brazil. This is different. But this is to prove that if you do a good farming job, it takes time, but a good farming job, adaptation, the terroir, and some processing, we can get good coffees in Brazil, right? That's the plan. So we keep working with more and more projects. We have 36 varietals in the garden now. But these varietals are the ones that really adapted very fast. So that's why we decided to bring them. So thank you again for coming, for your time. I hope you have enjoyed.
What is the highest altitude in Brazil?
In coffee plantations, we can see 1,300, 1,500. Brazil is not a very high country, but there's something, maybe a homework for you. There is a relation between altitude and latitude, longitude.
A lot.
Exactly. So there's a study about this. Maybe you can search that. Even if I am in 1,200 meters high, my latitude is different than the one in Central America. So there is a correlation. They would be the same, maybe as 2,000 meters high in Central America, being in 12 in Brazil. Yeah, exactly. For the pressure and everything. So in the past, we were worried about how high it was. But after this study, scientific university study, we said, oh, maybe we are 1,200 in Brazil, but the latitude is here, not there. So it would be the same as being 2,000 meters high in other places.
What about the lowest temperature? What's happening there?
Lowest or
in the mountainside?
In Brazil, we are not very cold country. Okay, so for example, in our region, sometimes we have 4 degrees, 5 degrees in winter, but very fast, like 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 degrees, and then it goes up a little bit more. So our summer is like yesterday night here, or our winter is like yesterday night here in Qatar. It was cold, 16 degrees. That's our winter in Brazil. I was like, come on, I come to the desert, it's cold. So that's a good point. The only tricky about your question, the tricky point, is that in Brazil we have the risk of a frost.
Yeah.
And then this is terrible. So the temperature can achieve -1, -2. But 1 day, 2 days in the year. But then if we are not very lucky, then we have a frost. And the frost burns all the trees. And then that's why sometimes when you have a frost, like 2 years or 3 years ago, the market,
2021.
because it burns everything. And when you burn the tree like a frost, it's not just the current harvest. You lose the production for the next 1 or 2 years. Because that's also the difficult part of producing coffee. When you plant a seed, it takes 3 or 4 years to get the first beans. So you need to be patient. It's different. When you plant corn in Brazil, after 6 months, you already have the corn you can sell. So when we had this very severe frost in Brazil 3 or 4 years ago, many guys, they gave up on coffee. They started to plant corn, soy, even avocado. Avocado in Brazil is something that's giving a lot of money. In our region, for example, avocado is giving a lot of money because they are used basically not for food, but for makeup. Shampoo, makeup. Yeah. So Japan, South Korea, they are importing Brazilian avocado for this and they are paying a lot. So when you go to the farm, we suffer a lot with this because we paying a lot of people. They are not coming anymore. They are going to the avocado plantation. They are not coming to the coffee plantation because the avocado plantation, they are paying a lot of money. So this is very tricky. It's not very easy to plant coffee. And in the end, after 1 year working, the coffee price is decided by the New York market.
Per year, how many times one plant can give harvest?
In our plantation, we have some trees that have 120 years old.
So the tree is for 120 years?
No, there's no limit, but productivity
It will
go down. But for example, in my 120 years old plantation, I had a Japanese company, they made a 10-year future contract with me.
No, I mean the plant tree, how many times it can give a harvest per year?
In Brazil,
One
one
time,
time.
yeah.
One. It starts in May.
There exists for the two times which can give the harvest?
In Brazil, no, what we may have in Brazil, because Brazil is a big country, is a late harvest. But it's one harvest, but one early, one late. For example, some varieties, they take more time for the bean to be mature, to be ripe. So the harvest for them is September, October. Some varieties in May we can already start. So it really depends. And this is also something interesting about Brazilian farmers. When you drink a bad Brazilian coffee, a Rio, Minas, a Riado, tasting medicine, it's because the guy in May, in April, you have some good beans and some green beans.
Yeah.
They take everything. They see a good price in the market, they say, take everything. So you have green beans, ripe beans, black beans, all mixed.
So you will, time to time, you need to take, yeah? So
In my case, we have selective picking for the microlots. So I have to pay the same person 4 or 5 times. Every time the guy goes there, just the good ones, I need to pay. And then the other day he comes again. Some of the other Brazilian farms, the big ones, the ones that don't care about quality, they just use a big machine, taking everything, and they don't care. It's okay, it's their business, right? But in our case, that's why sometimes the microlots, they are more expensive. Because as I told you, the labor is expensive now, because if you don't pay good, they go to avocado, to corn, to other. So you need to pay well. And you need to pay well 3 or 4 times, because you want to have the good beans. It's very
also look at the tree after you plant it. How long you can take a harvest from it?
3 or 4 years.
After you will remove the tree itself.
Oh, after you cut or remove everything?
Yeah, remove everything and let the land to rest.
3 or 4 years.
So after 3-4 years you remove and let the land.
A new one, and then.
For a year you letting it rest or for more?
No. You remove everything. You plant again.
The same time, yeah.
Yeah, you plant
so
again.
You're not letting the land to get power again.
You bring agronomists. The agronomists check the soil because we need minerals. And depending on the region that you are in Brazil, the minerals are different. So it's like a doctor. The agronomist comes and says, this part of the farm, you need more phosphorus, calcium, or limestone. And then he make a recipe, we buy, and then we keep doing it.
Yeah, nice.
In the farm, some of the parts of the farm, they are shaded. The Sudan rumei is planted in a shaded area. So as you have the shade, the maturation of the bean is slow because it's shaded. So this is good for me because then I can put my people to work in yellow bourbon while the Sudan rumei is still going for maturation. So it's logistics. It's very good for me.
Some question that
You can bring.
Brazil is largest coffee export in the world, right? So per year, how many kilo of coffee exported outside?
Oh, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. Because we are planning, just an example. Some guys, they are saying that this year, it's expected to have 70 million bags. 70 million bags of 59 kgs. So it's unbelievable. It's crazy. Coffee is, for many years, coffee culture has saved the country from bankrupt for many years in the past. Now, of course, Brazil has a very diverse world, but coffee has saved the country for many years. And I was talking to some of my friends, that many years ago, the Italian people, they came to Brazil to work. And they were really working in coffee plantations for long years. So they have some part of the history, the coffee history in Brazil has some Italian guys working there and helping us out. More doubts about Robusta. Someone was asking about Robusta. Robusta usually is in the north of Brazil, the biggest plantation. We also have
Still
some.
there is nowadays specialty coffee industry is growing. There is still demand for Robusta.
There is.
But people trying to avoid that Robusta beans, farmers.
It depends on the clients and also on the farmers. In our region in Minas, most of the coffees are Arabica. But in other states in Brazil, culturally, traditionally, Robusta.
You said about the green beans which have damaged. So there is a beans which is a grade 1, grade 4, grade 5, right?
Yes.
So you leaving this the damaged beans to the grade 4 to use for the Arabic coffee or the Turkish coffee, or you just throwing it for the...
We use in Brazil the broken beans, the grinders. We use in Brazil, but also we have some clients all over the world that buys these beans. It really depends on preparation. For example, when I sell this kind of beans, I take the black beans. The black beans, they bring bitterness. So I take the black beans. It's already better, good for the coffee. So it depends on how you treat the bean. But we have market. Indonesia, Malaysia, Japan, Australia, US, they are buying also this kind of coffees. Because when I receive coffees from the farmer plants, dry the coffee and deliver to me. They don't take the defects, they deliver everything. I pay for everything. And then, let's say, this is a machine. I put the coffees in the machine, one big lot. In the end of the process, I have different products. So I put one product, a big lot. Then in the end, I have the pea berries, because the machine separates the coffees by size. So I have pea berries, one product. I have the bigger coffee, like 17, 18. I have 16 now. I have the broken beans. I have the black beans. Yeah. So I put one product, and in the end I have different products. So I need to sell all these products. I bought them from the farmer, so I need to sell. So we have the export, of course, the exported coffees. But I also need to find someone to buy the black beans, the broken beans. There is market for everything.
So there is no waste?
No, definitely not. Because the farmer delivers everything, so I need to sell everything. But talking about Robusta, I was talking to a friend here. I don't do Robusta. Because in my region we don't have Robusta. And also, when you have a warehouse, a machine, we don't mix Arabica and Robusta in our processing machine. It would contaminate my machine. Sometimes 10 beans, 15 beans of Robusta can destroy a whole lot of Arabica. Can make it taste like medicine. So, if I was working with two, probably I would have to have two machines. We don't put... Even Rio Minas, the medicine, I don't deal with this because it would make other lots, good lots, turn. Cross-contamination is very dangerous in the coffee market. So the first preparation, when I put a coffee in the machine, is taking the foreign objects, the debris. Because when the farmers bring the coffee, they are very important. There are stones, even some corn. So the warehouse has a flow. So first we take the debris, the big foreign objects. And then we take the stones. There's a machine taking the stones. And then after taking the stones, I separate by size. And then after separating by size, I take the broken beans. And how the machines work? Most of them, they work by density. So the broken beans, they are lighter because they are broken. So the machine keeps shaking and the lighter goes this way because it keeps shaking like this. So the lighter goes this way, the heavy one stays here. So the broken beans. So it's all about density. And that is why many guys have problems with the stone. Because if you do not have a good stone picker, stone collector, you will have a problem. Because most of the stones, they have the same weight as the bean. And all the process is by density. So you need to take the stones before. Otherwise, later in the process, the stones will... And also, finally, magnetics. We have magnetics all over the process to avoid, I don't want you to receive metal. So, and some of the stones, they have some metallic material. So even the stones, sometimes they are catch by the magnetics all over the process. The coffee is moving and I have magnetics. Because sometimes you have some, ring, necklace. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's
let me ask you, you say that Brazil is, Brazil is the dominance in coffee production. Like you have a say in coffee. As they say, when Brazil sneezes, the coffee world is shaking. So are you also impacted? I'll give you an example. For us Kenyans, when we have issue with the dollar, it also affects the farmers and the economy. So what about Brazil now? Do you trade in Brazil real, or you are also affected when there is an issue with the dollar? Are you not like China, they can trade in yuan and they have no issue?
No, we are not affected by the dollar.
Yeah.
You are more affected because you buy from me. So for you, it's, in our case, first of all, we can use some finance tools, like hedging. When I hedge, I protect myself. Okay, so it's more technical, but I can fix the dollar, for example, for me, and it doesn't matter if it goes down or up, I already fixed. So hedging is for protection, not speculating, just to protect yourself. So you can have the predictability. So we don't suffer. The ones who can suffer in Brazil is the internal market, because they buy in Brazilian real, but the coffee price is in dollar. Then they suffer. Because the market, if the dollar goes up for us, currency, then the Brazilian coffee shops, they will have a problem. But the Brazilian consumption is huge and increasing more and more. Yeah, they are learning to drink good coffees now in Brazil. São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro. So this is a competition for you. It's a competition for you, because now you have competitors all over the world buying more and more coffee, but you also have competitors in Brazil, and sometimes they are paying even more. They are paying even more. Logistics, easy. In 5 hours, I take the coffee to São Paulo. Or they come to my warehouse with their car and they put. So for me, it's much easy, and sometimes really, for micro lots like this, some Brazilian companies, they are paying very well. It's good. They are learning about good coffees, right? I was talking to Robert, right? I was talking to Robert that we supply in Europe some royal families. And we supply the English royal family. And I remember one day, I got the coffees that we were sending to the Queen. She was still alive. And I got some and brought home. My parents hated it. We hate it. I thought, okay, the Queen of England, she likes it, but we don't like it. That's okay. That's okay. But because the culture in Brazil, we are learning now. We don't have something like this in Brazil, like cooking sessions and just in the companies, just in my company, but not for people. They are still learning. But it's better than before, for sure. It's better.
Also, last time I asked one barista about coffee, like in Kenya. Everyone drinking coffee? He said no. Like in Kenya, most of people drinking just tea. Yeah. But Kenya, Ethiopia, both countries are also exporting big amount of coffee beans. So what about in Brazil? Coffee culture is developing same like in Qatar, or people are just importing only?
No. In Brazil, first of all, in Brazil we hate tea. We don't drink tea in Brazil. We don't like. Yeah. No. But bad coffee. In general, we are drinking bad coffee. It's bad, like Rio Minas and all. It's cultural. We roast. The roasting is different, but it's learning. We are learning to have good beans. And when you talked about production, the difference is really big when it comes to quantity, right? Brazil, sometimes it's expected to produce 70 million bags. The second place in the world produces 14 million. So the difference is, the gap is very big, and in most of the countries, they are decreasing the quantity of production. Not just, Central America, some countries in Africa, the quantity is decreasing. So this pressure also the price. If the production goes down, the price tends to go